5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this post-match discussion for the fifth T20I, last T20I game between India and England, which was the decider as the series was leveled at 2-all. And what a turnaround for India, first with the bat and then again with the ball. 6 bowling options. So England won the toss, selected to bowl first. India had a single change. KL Rahul missed the game, whereas Natarajan replaced him, whereas England went unchanged. And then it was Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma, two of the best Indian white ball cricketers, opening the innings. And what a treat it was for the Indian cricket fans, or rather the cricket fans, as they put up 94 runs opening stand. And then it was Sky at number 3, who still has no limit to go, because a chance he was waiting for quite a long period of time, and he's got it now, and he's grabbing it with both the hands today. Another 37 runs, substantial innings, what was needed. Virat Kohli 80 not out, and Hardik Pandya again coming in and clobbering the bowlers all around the park, which is known for. India ultimately ending at 224 for just the loss of 2 wickets. Whereas England came on to bat, got an early breakthrough of Jason Roy, courtesy Bhuvneshwar Kumar, who clean bowled him. But then it was David Malan and Joss Butler who bailed England out and stabilized the English innings until the 13th over, where Bhuvneshwar Kumar again struck the wicket of important wicket of Joss Butler, and then it was Shardul Thakur, the man who performed in the previous game, picking a couple of wickets in the 15th over of the last game, turning it around for India. And then in this game also, it was the last time it was 16th over. This time it was the 15th over, picking Johnny Bairstow and David Malan both. Hardik Pandya again in the successive over picked Owen Morgan, and then England were just restricted at 188 for 8, 36 runs victory for Team India. Sixth series win for India in a row. So ultimately, both games batting first, ultimate game, or rather a perfect game for India and a perfect series. For more of the analysis, I have with me our expert, Mr. Shirish Nadkarni, joining us, a renowned journalist. Good evening, Shirish sir. And first question is that last couple of games, India batting first. What we were discussing, that when India bats first, there comes a problem of defending the scores. But last couple of wins while batting first, so not only a satisfying series win, but also a satisfying victory as far as the preparation for the World Cup is concerned.
Well, I had said after we lost the third game that I was hoping that Virat Kohli would continue to lose the toss and we would continue to bat first. We would be required to bat first, because England is a good chasing team and India is also a good chasing team. So it would have been nice to test ourselves, since the World Cup is a few months away, barely 6 to 7 months away. So it would have been good to test ourselves to find out whether we are reasonably good, at least at batting first and putting up a total on the board. And I think it was just today that we really got into the scheme of things, because perhaps this was the best wicket of all the 5 wickets that we had in the white ball series, in the T20 series. It was flat, it was firm, and you could hit through the line. And no wonder we just lost 2 wickets while scoring 224 runs. Kohli had another brilliant innings of 80 not out. Hardik Pandya weighed in at the end. Rohit Sharma was peerless at the top of the order. Surya Kumar Yadav again gave us a very good innings. He could have got more, but it was still a rapid innings. 37 runs of something like 17 or 18 balls. And we found a very good number 3 or number 4, depending on where um Kohli would like to use him. And Kohli moving up the order and opening the innings in place of Rahul again was a move that clicked because we got a nearly 100-run opening partnership, which we hadn't got all series. And that put England firmly on the back foot. And then, of course, the batting heroics of Surya Kumar Yadav and Hardik Pandya, who seemed to have regained his batting touch today. Hardik Pandya. That was really nice to see because he was struggling in the earlier matches. He was not able to time the ball the way he's able to time the ball. But today, he was right on top. He was able to hit the ball along the ground as well as in the air and get the kind of runs that he's known to get. His bowling is a big, big, big plus for us because now with a true all-rounder in the number, depends on where he bats. Today he batted at number 4, but normally he would bat at number 6 or 7. We have a man who can go up or down the order as the situation demands and get the runs that we require. And that is priceless. So it also allows us to have 6 bowlers in the side, including Hardik Pandya. And that gives you a lot of mental satisfaction because if any one bowler has an off day when you're fielding just 5 bowlers, then you really are up for it. Then you can, that one bowler in his 4 overs can go for 60, 65 runs. And that's not ideal in this brand of cricket. So once we have 6 bowlers, any bowler who has an off day can be asked to bowl just a couple of overs and then give way to the sixth bowler. And it's a very balanced team. This is the kind of team that we should have right through the World Cup. If we can get one more all-rounder in place, nothing like it. But otherwise, probably Natarajan will have to make way for Jasprit Bumrah when he comes back from his honeymoon. Otherwise, it looks a very settled side. And Shardul Thakur, imagine, ended up as the highest wicket taker in the series. Now, that's a big plus point for him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Now, why am I stuck?
Your camera is switched off. Means you are not visible. You're perfectly audible, but you're not visible. So there's some technical issues. We'll try to connect with Sirisha. In the meantime, Sirisha was mentioning about the sixth bowler. Then you saw Washington Sundar going away for 13 runs in the over. In the last game, if we talk about the last game, then he went for 52 in his quota of 4 overs, and today he conceded just 13 in his first over. 13 into 4 is 52, and he wasn't handed the ball by Virat Kohli. So this is actually this tells you the importance of the sixth bowling option, because in the last game Virat was compelled to bowl with Washington Sundar as he didn't have any choice to make, but today he had his sixth bowling option. And Hardik batting at number 7, as we were discussing in our previous discussions as well, that Hardik batting at number 7 is of no use. So today we saw we were having actually only 5 batting options, or rather 6 batting options, including Hardik Pandya, and we just lost 2 wickets and piled up 224 runs. Maybe it will not click, but 6 bowling options in a T20I game, as Sirisha was mentioning, is an ideal, or rather, is a feature of a balanced side. And about the all-rounder which I was mentioning, then Jadeja would, as he's declared fit, he will obviously make his way into the 11. So in that case, we'll have Ravindra Jadeja and Hardik Pandya, a combination of 2 all-rounders, which will actually make our side much more balanced, and one of the contenders for the T20 World Cup, because a perfect series victory. Last 2 games we were batting first, and we won the series. Also, one of the points that Shirisha is back.
Yeah.
So Shirisa, was, as you were mentioning about the six bowling option, and you were mentioning that if someone has a bad day, then the captain has the choice. So a recent example was Washington Sundar, who in the previous game went for 52 runs without a wicket in 4 overs.
That's
Today
right.
he went for 13 runs, 54 divided by 4, and he wasn't
That's right.
handed the ball by Virat Kohli. So this is the advantage of the sixth bowling option.
Yeah.
Again, Virat Kohli's move, because while opening the innings he averages just 28, and today 80 not out, a sublime knock from the captain. But Shardul Thakur, as you were mentioning, he is actually the game changer of the last couple of games, including this. Because in the last game, also in the 16th over, he came and picked those 2 wickets, successive wickets. And today, also in 15th over, he picked 2 wickets. So, in this, do you think that he is one of those silent heroes in a team full of legends, or rather full of stars, in the likes of Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, or Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Hardik Pandya?
See, he looks quite innocuous. He doesn't bowl express pace, but he is very clever with his variations, and he bowls the slower ball very well. In fact, at the end of the match, the commentary team asked him, "How is it that all of you are managing to bowl the slower ball so well?" So he said that we are practicing a lot, and we know that the slower ball can yield a lot of results in this brand of cricket, both in T20 as well as ODIs. And therefore, they've been practicing the slower ball with the batsman as well. And as I said, he looks innocuous, but he can be quite skiddy and slippery. And his
Yeah.
variations make him dangerous. So Shardul Thakur ended up as the man with the most number of wickets in the entire series. I don't know who got the accolade or the title or the award of man of the series, but I would have put either Shardul Thakur or Virat Kohli in that place, because Virat Kohli had 3 big unbeaten innings. He got out for
Yeah.
in 2 innings without scoring anything, but he had 3 big unbeaten innings, and was one of the biggest contributors to India's 3-2 victory. Of course,
Yeah.
today's match, I would unhesitatingly give the man of the match award to Bhuvneshwar Kumar, because to bowl a spell which has 4 overs, no maidens, 15 runs, and 2 wickets is phenomenal. That means he gave away less than 4 runs per over in a match where the average over went for more than 11 runs. We got 224 runs in 20 overs. That's more than 11 runs. And England were also going at the same rate before they started losing wickets. So for Bhuvi to get a wicket in his first over and then to bowl his 4 overs by conceding just 15 runs, I thought that was a match-winning performance. So I don't really know who got the man of the match and the man of the series awards, because we came into the broadcast studio before that. But I would nominate Bhuvi as man of the match for today, and I would nominate Kohli as man of the series, despite the fact that he's had a whole lot of arguments and fights with the umpires on the field.
Yeah, I was coming to the Boobies spell, and that too. You mentioned about the wicket at the start, and again, not to forget that Bowie was the man who actually started this England's wicket streak, picking Josh Butler in the 13th over. And if
Right.
we take out those runs of wides, then obviously the spell of Bhuvneshwar Kumar. So Bhuvneshwar Kumar was back after an injury. So this shows that quality actually at the end stands out. With no disrespect to any other bowler, but Bhuvneshwar Kumar is definitely in limited overs cricket, with the skills he's improved, is a class part.
He's a swing bowler, and Sunil Gavaskar, the legend, was always fond of saying that form is temporary, but class is permanent. So, Bhuvneshwar Kumar at the start of the series looked quite rusty, didn't look his normal self. But as the series progressed, he just went on improving match by match. And in the last 2 matches, he has bowled really, really well. Today was absolutely outstanding. I mean, that first opening over put England on the back foot straight away, because Jason Roy, who's been contributing quite a lot of runs, I think he's got 340s in the series. He was knocked over right at the beginning, and England, okay, they recovered to some extent by the stand between David Malan and Josh Butler. But that scoreboard pressure, when you put so many runs on the board, is bound to tell on the team batting second. And once wickets start falling, it becomes, as they say in the Hindi vernacular, gaslet ki line, which is what happened with England. After the second wicket fell, the third, fourth, fifth, sixth just went on falling. And even a batsman of the caliber of Ian Morgan, who is normally, he takes a little while to get going and then scores really big. If you see his figures, he's just over 100 in the first 10 runs, and then he just goes up to 175. And a strike rate of 175 is tremendous, absolutely tremendous. But he needs those first few balls to settle in. And he didn't get them today because the going rate had already gone beyond the 15 mark. So he had to go for it, and obviously he got out. And that is the beauty of putting up big runs on the scoreboard, which is what we did today.
Yeah. A destructive batsman is Ian Morgan, and is known for hitting long sixes. So, player of the series, Virat Kohli confirmed. Player of the match, Bhuvneshwar Kumar confirmed. Spot on. Now, about the slow balls you were mentioning, there are several bowlers bowling the slow balls, but how judiciously you use the slow balls, I think this is what Shardul Thakur showed. To keep away from the arc of the batsman, to actually drag a length away from the batter a bit on a shorter side. So the way Shardul Thakur bowled the slow balls, that was a bit of highlight. Do you feel which stood him apart?
See, look, in his last over, he actually went for 20 runs, including 3 sixes. So it's not as if the batsman didn't know what he was bowling and where he was bowling and so forth. But when it came to a crunch situation, like it did in the previous match, in the fourth match, where he was again asked to bowl the last over, and where he gave India a victory by 8 runs, there, his best delivery was the slower ball bowled at Yorker length, just within the guiding line, where he can't be called for a wide, where the batsman has to reach out for it and then try to hit it. The batsman can't hit it on the leg side. So if you pack the offside and the batsman goes for a big shot, you have fielders on the boundary line and you have fielders in the 30-yard circle. You know, if you pack the offside with 6 players and have just 3 on the leg side, and Shardul bowls correctly and accurately the slower ball at Yorker length, just within the guideline, he can't go wrong. He can't go wrong. But you need that kind of control, and he has it. And that is really good. We found a bowler who is going to be very useful for us in the World T20 Cup, which comes in India later this year.
Also, before the series, in pre-series discussion, you predicted about Rohit and Bairstow as your top picks for the maximum sixes. So now, as we stand post the series, it's Josh Butler with maximum sixes, that is 10. And Kohli is right there behind him with 9 sixes. So I think Rohit Sharma...
That is unusual because Kohli is not generally a 6 hitter. He's not a big hitter. He prefers to play classical strokes. So he prefers dealing in boundaries rather than sixes. So if he himself hit 9 sixes, it shows the intensity with which he approached his batting, especially in the last 2 matches where he got runs. He got 18 not out this time. And what did he get in the last match? He didn't get too many. He got in the second match.
Last game, he didn't get too many. Before that, he got a 77 not out of just 6 deliveries.
That's right.
Okay, so now if we talk in the context of the whole series, several points come out. Number one, the approach and the intent, as we were talking about, not only about Virat Kohli, but of the whole Indian batting lineup. Sometimes it didn't click, but for most of the times, India went on with the positive approach. Rohit Sharma became the first opener for India to start off the Indian innings with the 6 of Adil Rashid just over long off. So the approach of Indian batters changed, and they were looking for runs. Today also, Rohit Virat Kohli compiled 60 runs in the power play, as we were talking about that judicial use of the power play, and which was very important. So, do you think that this change this change was very much evident in this series?
It's like this. Virat has been talking before the series began. Virat has been talking about India going hell for leather right from the start, going explosive. As he used the word explosive, we want to be explosive batsmen. I think they needed to blend that explosiveness with just a little bit of caution to start with, because when the pitch was doing something, a little bit at least, then we lost a lot of wickets. You saw the first match where we barely got 124 runs. Even in the third match, we didn't do well with the bat. But today, the pitch was doing nothing. The pitch was in Bombay language we call it a pata wicket. Literally,
Yeah,
it was a pata wicket where the ball came onto the bat and did nothing, untoward. So the batsman could hit through the line, and that was very important for them. And that is when Rohit, you saw right from the beginning, went for his strokes. And
yeah.
yeah, well, he was dropped once, but otherwise, he was right on top. And this was the
Yeah, so
only
he's
match.
straight right.
Yeah, this was the only match in which we saw Rohit really at his best. Otherwise, in one of the previous matches, he got a reasonable score, but he didn't look as settled as he did today.
Yeah,
He was right on top of the bowling today, and he was so mad with himself when he eventually got out. I think he had set himself down for 100, but he didn't get that. And
yeah,
Kohli went on to bat as the anchor, because while Rohit was batting, Kohli was playing second fiddle,
yeah,
taking singles and giving him the strike most of the time, and that was, very very good. He did the same thing with Surya Kumar Yadav, because Yadav was
yeah,
also hitting
yeah,
at the rate of 2 runs per ball on the average and a strike rate of almost 200. But it was only when Hardik came in and Kohli had already settled down and felt the need to take the score well beyond the 200 mark that he also unleashed all his strokes. And you know the kind of strokes Kohli has. There's no batsman in
yeah.
the world who's got that kind of repertoire of strokes. Beautiful strokes, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Two of the two masters of Indian cricket, or rather world cricket, put on a batting exhibition between themselves. So now, a short question before moving forward. With Virat Kohli leading the side, no one knows what his next move will be. But do you think this Rohit Kohli partnership will go for long, or it was just a one-game wonder or a one-game trial for them?
I think it was basically a one game trial, because you've got opening batsmen of the caliber of KL Rahul, Shikhar Dhawan, Ishan Kishan, all waiting in the wings. Rahul didn't do well in this series. True, in 4 matches, he just got 15 runs, which is very poor by Rahul standards. But he's too good a batsman to be left out. By the time the World Cup comes around, I'm sure he will have regained his touch. So leaving Rahul out is difficult. Ishan Kishan has made a case for himself, getting a half century on debut. Shikhar Dhawan, again, we will see him most likely batting during the one day series, because he and Rohit form an excellent ODI partnership. So I think today's was a one off, and it was forced upon him basically by the need to have 6 bowlers in the side rather than 5. So if he was to bring in Natarajan as the third seamer today, then he had to go up the order and promote himself to the role of opener. But I don't think he will stick in that role always. I think he will allow the specialist openers to bat, and then he'll come down at number 3 or number 4, depending on whether he wants to promote Surya Kumar Yadav to the third position or keep him for number 4.
Another point came out of the preparedness for the youngsters. We saw Ishan Kishan blasting a 50 on his debut. Then Surya Yadav was absolutely phenomenal. Was waiting in the ranks for quite a long period of time. We saw the preparedness of these youngsters to play at the topmost level. Now, here comes the role of the IPL. So, it is the time to praise the Indian Premier League and say thank you IPL for actually uh, preparing the youngsters to come and directly play at the topmost level. Because the way they actually batted fearlessly and without any kind of pressure or burden on their shoulders.
See, Utkarsh, if you have noticed, now virtually every country in the world has a T20 league of its own. You have the Big Bash in Australia, you have a league in Pakistan, you have a league in Sri Lanka. All these leagues are there, but there is no league that can compare with the quality of the IPL.
Yeah,
And this has been
correct.
admitted by even the foreign players. Even though there is a limit of four players from abroad in each team at any given time in any given match, even though there is that limit, they say that the IPL brings out the best in us, and the IPL allows a lot of domestic talent from India to flourish. They get a chance to rub shoulders with each other in the dressing room. They learn from each other on the field. I mean, you see somebody like Ben Stokes fielding, and you want to emulate him. You want to try and take the kind of catches that he takes. Now today's catch, which
Yeah,
was taken by Chris Jordan, that running catch along the
yeah,
boundary, which he took, threw the ball to Jason Roy, and then crossed over outside the boundary line. That kind of athleticism is amazing, and I'm sure there would be a lot of Indian players who would like to emulate that kind of fielding. And they also realize one more thing, that in this particular Indian side, there is no room for slackers as far as fielding is
yeah,
concerned.
correct.
Virat Kohli leads
Yeah,
by example, and he has made sure that he's turned the side into a very good fielding unit. Therefore, when they dropped a few catches, he was really upset. And
yeah, he's raging.
yeah, and very few of them allow the ball to go between their legs and so forth, like we used to do in the past. I mean, even our 1983 ODI team, which won, we had a lot of slow moving fielders. We had a lot of fielders who let the ball
Yeah.
between their legs and so forth, but no longer. Right now, the ODI
Only
spots
one
as well as,
catch stood out.
yes,
Kapil Paji's catch.
absolutely, absolutely.
Only one.
Kapil, he ran 35 meters to take that catch. And if he hadn't taken that catch, Viv Richards would have gone on and got the total in no time at all. Yeah, so that was a big thing. Therefore, uh, our fielders have improved by leaps and bounds under Virat Kohli, and the youngsters have realized that there is no room for slow movers and slackers. They have to be good enough. I mean, Ashwin has retained his place in the test side by sheer dint of his phenomenal bowling. Otherwise, as a and batting, yes. Otherwise, as a
Yeah.
fielder, he would have been out of the side much earlier. But realize one more thing. In the last 1 year, he has improved his fielding by at least 25 to 30%. And that is only because of the pressure of needing to stay in the team if Virat Kohli allows you, because you have to be a good fielder. If you're not a good fielder, you will not remain in the team.
Yeah, true words, true words. And now, as you mentioned about the all-rounder, so as Ravindra Jadeja comes in, so it will be an interesting point to see who will Ravindra Jadeja replace as an all-rounder. So one bowler will be cut short, and with this win, now India has presented their case. So now, if we look at India and England, India have tested and tried their players along with winning the series, where England went in with that same 11 without testing and trying. So, if we would have lost the series, we would have criticized or castigated India for trying and testing a lot and this and that. But now, post the series, as the result stands 3-2, we are saying that India not only has won the series but also have tried and tested their players. So a couple of players which we got and can make their place in the WTC or World T20 squad, as I say. So now this was it for the series. As we take your leave, we'll meet you on the, or rather at the post pre-series discussion for the limited over side. The squad has already been announced. Few players were rewarded a spot in the Indian team, courtesy their performances in the recently concluded Vijay Hazare Trophy. So we'll discuss all of this in the pre-series discussion where we'll also be joined by VK and Monty Panisa. So now for today, it's all, and just celebrate and enjoy India's victory, 3-2 victory. And don't forget, last two games came as the batting first. So India has improved, and hope this improvement goes along till the World T20 and in the World T20. Thanks a lot, Shirish, for joining. Thanks a lot,
My
viewers, for
pleasure.
joining. Tune in every match day.